Hey, Lee Trent, I'm down here at the Riverwalk, just walking around looking at stuff. People walk around everywhere. I miss you. I'm trying to get Vietnam as soon as I can. I miss you. Turn it down. How do you stop it? Oh. I'm in Tulsa. I miss you. I'm down. This is a building called the, I don't know what it really is. Sporting arena or something. I was just walking around it. But walking by the police station, the sheriff department over here. The courthouse is over here. So I'm making sure they know, that a crime's been committed. That way they can't say that they don't know it's been committed. Because they keep pretending like they're going to do something, but they won't do anything. So I'm making sure they can't say they didn't know that I told them the crime was committed. Anyway, I'm trying to be an officer. Anyway. Hey, I'm now in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. I'm trying to get people to tell the truth. I'm letting law enforcement know crimes have been committed. I can't make them enforce the law, but I can let them know that people are breaking the law, and which will make those cops guilty too. But anyway, I'm here in Wichita, Texas. That's called the Keeper of the Plains. So I thought I'd let you know where I was at, what I was doing. I miss you. I'm trying to get to you as soon as I can. Anyway. This is the Texas legislators. So, I think I can exit down here somewhere. Workforce Commission. Let's get exit over here. I don't like that. There's more Texas Workforce Commission. I'll wait 1 second. It's crazy. When I was here in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, they call it the year of the crane because they had cranes all over the place. Just keep building stuff. It's crazy. There it is. They need to put a big old giant rebel flag on that thing. I made a big picture of it, with the rebel flag on it already, painted on it. All you do is take that picture I made and they could paint the whole building. There's a big giant rebel flag on the building. this bad stuff. Look, I really am wearing this shirt. I really did contact the FBI. I really did talk to the President of the United States while I was in Vietnam. You really are under a real investigation. You guys have really messed up because you won't believe me. You won't tell the truth. All you do is lie. So you pretend like you're going to do something, then all you do is try to arrest me again. So I just want you to know this is as real as it gets. You're going to go to a prison cell, Sheriff Bright, for what you've done.
On December 4th, 2024, I reported your crimes in front of a police officer in the Shawnee Mall. He was at the Sakura restaurant. This police officer was in uniform. He was sitting in front of me where he could see my face. He could hear every word that I spoke. I mentioned the federal statute of Title 18, Section 242. I mentioned that this law is about police misconduct. I mentioned that if police officers are caught depriving any person of their constitutional rights, that police officer shall be held guilty of a crime. I've mentioned that if a police officer knows that a constitutional violation has occurred and this police officer chose not to stop the constitutional violation, then that police officer can be arrested for failure to intervene. I mentioned that Carter County, Oklahoma faked my daughter's death. I mentioned that Chris Blunt is Michael Eckert. I mentioned that this same Chris Blunt was staying at a house near April Hawley's house right after I was introduced to April Hawley in 1993. I mentioned that this same Chris Blunt knows someone who was in the Air Force on Lackland Air Force Base during the time that I was in basic training. I mentioned that the same Chris Blunt knows someone in law enforcement in the Clark County, Oklahoma area. I mentioned that the same Chris Blunt was calling himself Michael Eckert in Austin, Texas, at Motorola from 2006 to 2012, and that he was my engineering director. I mentioned that the same Chris Blunt was in my jail cell at the Maury County Jail from September 2022 to October 2022. I mentioned that 2 people were at the Amarillo bus station around midnight on July 2nd, 2024. I mentioned that the 2 people at that bus station were Daniel Morelli and Chris Blunt. This time, Chris Blunt had grown his hair out, and I could recognize Chris Blunt as Michael Eckert. Chris Blunt looked at me very mean. It was the same look that this Chris Blunt gave me when he entered the Maury County Jail in 2022. That is when I realized that Chris Blunt is Michael Eckert. That is also when I realized that many people are using false names around me every place that I go. I've seen it at work. I've seen it in jail. I've seen it in the behavioral health hospitals. I've seen it everywhere I go. People using fake names to get close to me. This police officer looked to the people next to him and talked to them, and they laughed and joked for a few seconds. That's when I recognized the people at that table. Many years ago, these same people approached me and said that they were either prosecutors, attorneys, or judges in the Shawnee area somewhere. But they did say that they knew what Carter County had done many years ago. I do not know the names of these individuals or what their job title really is, what kind of function. They could be sanitary workers and dressed really nice for lunch. I have no idea who they are or what they do. But they seem to be very upset to hear what I had to say. What I do know is that these people know what I said, and if these individuals decide to ignore the crimes which are currently being committed against me by law enforcement, these people will be prosecuted along with every guilty party who knows the truth about Carter County, Oklahoma, faking multiple deaths, including my daughter's death, so that Carter County, Oklahoma could torture Brett Finnerty in front of the world. What you've done is called cruel and unusual punishment. I also quoted 3 constitutional amendments. It was the 5th Amendment, which makes it illegal for the federal government to make any law to deprive any person of their life, liberty, or property without due process of law. I mentioned the 14th Amendment, which is the same thing for the states. The 14th Amendment is where no state can deprive any person of their life, liberty, or property without due process of law, which it looks like the state of Oklahoma and Texas are doing that. And cruel and unusual punishment. That's when you don't tell me if you're ever going to tell the truth. You keep pretending, and that's how you gave me alcohol poisoning 5 times. Chris Bryant, you're probably going to jail for attempted murder, and then some.